Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was a bear named Fung. Fung the bear lived in a hollowed-out cavity up high inside a big tree, where the air hung thick with the smell of fermenting figs and where she could stretch her powerful legs and scratch her back against the damp bark of the tree. Fung was a very young bear. She was curious about everything. She was quick to climb and always ready to investigate any interesting smell that drifted through the trees. One morning, as the sunlight pierced through the dense branches overhead, Fung caught a scent that made her stop mid-step. Fung the bear thought to herself, "Sweet, rich, golden honey." She followed her nose through the crackling leaves until she found it. A wild bee nest inside the split trunk of another big tree. And not just a little honey. More honey than she'd ever seen in her life, dripping down the inside of the wood in thick streams. Fung pressed her face against the opening. She extended her tongue and slurped deep into the crevice of the tree, pulling out mouthful after mouthful of pure sweet honey. She ate until her belly was round and full, and still the honey dripped. Fung had to sit back, licking her muzzle. Her chest was sticky with honey. She looked at the tree and said to herself, "Look at all that honey still inside." Then she had a thought. What if this was the last honey she ever found? The thought arrived quietly, but it grabbed a hold of her mind and wouldn't let go. What if she left and never found another honey tree? What if she couldn't remember where this one was? What if something happened to it? She just had to take it with her. All of it. Fung pressed her paws against the bark. With long curved claws perfect for ripping wood, she scooped at the honey inside the tree, gathered in her palm for just a moment, then dripped between her claws. She tried again. Same thing. Honey stuck to her fur, to her chest, to her legs, everywhere. Bears weren't really made to carry things, so she tried using both paws like a bowl, but honey poured out the sides. She tried licking her paws clean and starting over. More mess, more stickiness, more panic rising in her throat. "Fine then," she said. She decided that she wouldn't carry it. If she couldn't carry it, she would just guard it. Fung the bear settled herself at the base of the tree where the honey was and waited. The forest continued on, moisture dripping from the moss-covered branches, distant gibbon calls echoing through the trees. But Fung barely heard any of it. She was watching, protecting the honey. A gibbon swung past overhead, its long arms reaching from branch to branch. It plucked the fig and ate it mid-swing, casual and carefree. Fung the bear growled at the gibbon, low and warning it. The gibbon glanced down, surprised, then swung away through the trees. It wasn't even interested in the honey. But Fung thought to herself, what if the next one was? As the afternoon heat settled into the humid air, Fung had an idea. She could break off pieces of bark, use them like containers, and carry the honey that way. So she dug her claws into the tree trunk and ripped away a chunk of bark. It crumbled immediately in her paws. She tried a bigger piece. It split in half. She tried peeling it more carefully. Her claws punched right through. Honey spilled. Again and again. Fung the bear sat down hard, surrounded by pieces of bark and sticky puddles. Leaves stuck to her fur. She looked absolutely ridiculous. Then, a strange smell drifted past. A binturong waddled into view, its shaggy fur dark against the forest floor. It stopped when it saw Fung the bear, and it sniffed the air curiously, then sniffed directly at her. Fung froze, covered head to toe in honey and leaves. The binturong considered her for a long moment. Then, it simply continued on its way, shuffling through the undergrowth, completely uninterested. Fung the bear watched it disappear. Then she looked down at herself, at the mess she'd made, at the tree still standing there perfectly fine, filled with honey, while she sat there making everything harder than it needed to be. But she just couldn't leave it. As the light faded and the evening shadows came upon the forest, Fung the bear's tongue felt thick and her mouth was too sweet. She needed water, so she left quickly, nervously, and drank from a nearby stream. The water tasted clean and cool and exactly right. When she returned to the tree, a pangolin was shuffling peacefully through the leaf litter nearby, hunting for ants with its long, sticky tongue. It wasn't anywhere near the honey. It wasn't even looking at it. But Fung charged forward anyway, growling, paws thudding against the crackling leaves. The pangolin curled into a ball and somehow rolled away. Fung stood guard all night, alone, miserable, watching the honey tree like it might vanish if she blinked. Morning came with the calls of a great hornbill from its tree hole nest somewhere in the trees. The sound was loud and clear, and it woke her up. Fung was exhausted, sticky, hungry for actual food, not just honey. Her stomach wanted something else. Meat, fruit, anything but more honey sweetness. The hornbill called again, and suddenly, Fung the bear was reminded of her mother. Not a specific moment, just a feeling. The way her mother moved through the forest with calm confidence, never rushing, never worrying. They'd found trees with honey before, and they also found mounds full of insects and fruit trees heavy with ripe figs. Her mother had taught her where to look, taught her to read the forest, to notice the signs, to trust the pattern. Her mother never saved food, never guarded, never stayed in one place, afraid to leave. Because the forest always provided. Not the same food in the same place, but food, always food. That's what it meant to live where the seasons stayed warm and fruit ripened year-round, and bees built their nests, and insects burrowed under bark, and life just kept moving and growing and offering itself up. Her mother knew that, and had tried to teach Fung that. Fung the bear looked at the tree full of honey, all that golden sweetness still dripping inside. She stepped forward and extended her tongue one more time. She took a taste of the rich honey. Then she pulled back, and she walked away. Her paws carried her through the familiar leaves, past the damp bark and moss-covered branches. The morning light started to shine on the branches, where clusters of ripe figs were growing from a nearby tree. Figs that she'd completely ignored while she was obsessed with her tree that was full of honey. Fung reached up and plucked one, then another. The fruit was soft and sweet and different, exactly what her body wanted. She ate and was satisfied. She looked back once. The tree where the honey was still there, where she left it, quiet and shining, and it didn't get smaller for her leaving it behind. Somehow that made her heart feel wide and light. The forest hummed with sound, hornbills calling, insects ticking, the steady rhythm of life continuing. Feng took another step, then another. The stickiness was fading and was being replaced by the soft scent of earth and figs. She didn't need to guard anything anymore. The forest would always make more. And with that calm, sure feeling, Feng wandered on, full, free, and finally home. And the bear lived happily ever after. The end. Bears are large mammals with thick fur and strong bodies. Mammals are animals that have fur or hair and drink milk from their mothers when they are babies. Bears belong to the animal family called Ursidae. The word Ursidae comes from the Latin word ursus, which means bear. There are 8 species of bears living in the world today. Bears are part of the scientific group called Carnivora, which includes animals that eat meat. Even though they're in that group, many bears eat plants too. Bears live in North America, South America, Europe, and Asia. Bears do not live naturally in Africa, Australia, or Antarctica. And you can find bears in different habitats such as forests, mountains, grasslands, deserts, and even Arctic ice. Bears choose homes when there's lots of food and safe places to rest. Some bears live in very cold places, while others live in warm jungles. The 8 types of bears are the American black bear, brown bear, polar bear, Asiatic black bear, giant panda, the sloth bear, sun bear, and the spectacled bear. Most bears are omnivores, which means they eat both plants and animals. Bears eat berries, nuts, roots, fish, insects, honey, small animals. Some bears love salmon fishing, polar bears eat seals, and giant pandas eat mostly bamboo. Bears must eat a lot of food before winter. Bears have large paws with strong claws. Their claws help them dig, climb, catch food, and tear logs open for insects. Bears have excellent noses and can smell food from miles away. Bears have small round ears and can stand on their back legs to look around, and their fur keeps them warm in cold weather. Some bears go into hibernation during winter. Hibernation is like a long, deep sleep where their body slows down and the body uses stored fat for its energy. Bears don't eat, drink, or go to the bathroom during this time, and they prepare for hibernation by eating a lot of food in the fall. Baby bears are called cubs. Cubs are born during winter while the mother is in her den. Cubs are born tiny and helpless. A newborn cub usually weighs less than a pound. Cubs stay with their mother for 1 to 3 years. Mothers teach their cubs where to find food, how to climb, and how to stay safe. Some bears can run up to 35 miles per hour. Bears can be strong swimmers too. Polar bears can swim for many miles in cold water. And many bears are excellent tree climbers. Bears are very smart animals, and they can remember where food is located. Some bears can solve simple problems. Bears have been seen using rocks or objects to scratch themselves. Many bears are solitary animals, but they usually come together for mating or raising cubs. Some bears are active during the day, while others are active at night. Bears often mark trees with claw marks or scent to show their territory. Bears usually avoid humans. They may come near people if they smell food, but it's important to keep food stored safely in bear habitats. Have you seen a real-life bear before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat? On Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.